Community Living is an organization that helps support people who have intellectual and physical disabilities. We all have our challenges in life, but some people's obstacles are a little larger than others, and our role is to support that vision and get them to where they need to be.
We try and make sure that they can successfully live their dreams, find out what their goals are, help them achieve that, allow them to still live their lives independently, but be there to help support when they do need assistance.
We've moved from people participating proudly in sheltered workshops and things like that to people being self-sufficient, earning a proper wage, and being a real part of the community. We've had to narrow it down and focus on achievable goals as opposed to trying to accomplish everything. And I believe that this new strategic plan is going to accomplish that.
There's Uncle Joey. Yep. There's us feeding each other the cake.
Yeah. And there's my friend Joni, and
yeah.
And there's us inside the limo.
My name is Jesse Luke Lawrence, and I met Jessica 3 years ago, and I proposed to her at the Community Living Christmas dance. I got down on one knee in front of 400 people.
Yeah, and I was kind of nervous about that at first.
I think we both were.
My most dream is to have a house and have a life with a guy that loves me for who I am. And Community Living got the house for us, and now we're living in a nice, decent house and having a good life with them.
Our dream is to grow old together as one in a house with our family united.
I work for Community Living, but I also have a personal connection. My sister, Mary Ellen, is supported by Community Living. Mary Ellen is very strong-willed, and that's what I admire about her. When she sets out to do something, she is going to do it. She has attempted to knit, and she's good at it, but she's so good at it that if she makes a little mistake, it's got to be tore out.
I know how to knit and crochet.
So her knitting over the years has been knitting a piece about that big and ripping it all apart. One of her staff at Community Living came up with, why don't you just make little blocks, Mary Ellen? And from that, she started making the little blocks. And I said, well, we can maybe have that all put together and we'll get a big blanket. It's beautiful. She has so many other goals, and she is succeeding at those. And I have to give Community Living credit because they helped her discover her goals and dreams and brought that out and helped the family know what those goals and dreams were and helped us to accept and see the benefits in letting her go and letting her grow and becoming who she is today.
If it wasn't for Community Living doing what they did for me and Jessica, we probably would have never got together.
They really helped me with getting things I need and stuff, and live your life the way that you want to live it.
Dream,
believe,
overcome,
and achieve.
Thank you, Shelby, for your perseverance to make sure that we heard those voices, and it certainly was worth it. So now I think Deb Hook and I are going to open up to questions, and Shelby will be finding those and sharing them, or comments, anything that you'd like, as we are excited about the Community Living Wallaceburg strategic plan. And just a note. You can get the strategic plan if you don't have a copy at getintocommunityliving.com.
Awesome. Yeah, exactly what Ben said. We are now opening up the period for question and answers. So if you could please type any question you have, anything you want to be clarified, or just anything at all, just type it in the chat box to the right here. And I will be saying them out loud for Ben or Deborah to be answering.
Shelby, the video is getting rave reviews.
Yeah, it is a great
very
video.
Heartfelt video. It is a great video.
We left the people speechless, Ben. What can I say?
Well, I don't think we did, but that was past President Kevin Kavanaugh, who just did a great job. What am I most excited about? Asked Derek McGivern, one of the past presidents. So I am really excited. I'm really excited about the just the breadth of the strategic plan. It's very comprehensive, and I think it's going to do a good job of helping the board of directors make sure that we're in line with the agency and what needs to happen for the people that we support. But also, I think it's going to be a great tool for folks to engage with, Derek. So I think it's the breadth and the comprehensive nature of this.
I'm really
Deb?
excited. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, what are you most excited about?
I'm really excited to be a platform to empower people. I'm of the opinion that everyone has huge potential, and we just have to sort of open it up for people to dream about that potential. And our job is going to be helping people to find that potential and then reach for it. So I think that's what's got me really excited.
Awesome. So we have an answer or a question from Virginia. So she said, I am a mental health expert. What is the plan to encourage conversations about mental health for staff and the people we support?
I can take that one. So I absolutely 100% recognize that employees in all professions, whether they're in a school or wherever, need to be versed in supporting people who might have mental health issues. So one of the goals for the training for our employees is to develop a basic knowledge of mental health and how to interact with a person who's having some mental health issues at the time. So Virginia, it's to train up so that all employees have a comfort level and a capacity to work with people and help them continue on their journey, all the while being supported through their mental health issues.
I'd like to add into that. So right in our strategic plan talks about pursuing relationships and partners with other organizations so that we can ensure that we have comprehensive supports. And I know that the staff at Community Living Wallaceburg has done a great job of reaching out to mental health and a variety of supports and partnerships to make sure that we support people the best way possible. And often the people that we support, it's those relationships and those warm relationships that we have that can be so vital.
She also had a follow-up question as well. She just didn't know if you could talk specifically about more of learning, training, experiential learning, that sort of thing that might be incorporated with the agency.
Well, it's a little bit, I would say, premature to go too specific on that, but I will tell you, Virginia, my background is mental health and addictions, so I recognize the absolute need for folks like yourself to have the training that will enable you to do the job that you've signed on to do. So I wouldn't want to get too specific now, but I absolutely recognize the need, and frankly, I've seen the need with my own eyes.
Awesome. Denise said that this was all very touching, and this is their first time, and I'm assuming first time attending a strategic plan launch. They would like to know, what is it that they can do now?
Who is they? Denise, what do you mean, what can they do now? I think, get on board. Like, we're going to work through the actual implementation. And one of the key parts of our plan is we're going to be putting markers. Like, it's not just we're going to do it. We're going to do it with some markers to show that we're progressing, to show that we're moving ahead. So, put your name forward to help us create the steps and the markers to show that we're actually making a difference and making progress.
The biggest thing as we work through strategic plans is when it becomes alive. And I think that's the most exciting thing, when we see it in the faces of our coworkers and the people who choose for us to support them. That's when it really becomes alive. So I think a big part of that is seeing where something like an engaged team and supportive workplace is really coming to life. Or when we really talk about the better connected and integrated supports, and knowing that that work is something that's really valued in Community Living Wallaceburg. So I think it's about bringing that to life. And I think that's why it was so important to see the video that was shared today, because it brings it to life, because we see what happens in the interactions for people who choose to have us support them.
I can also speak a little bit on that as well. After this event here, you should be receiving an email. It will not only sum up what the event happened today without the technical issues, but it will also have a link at the very end that says how to get involved. And like I said at the beginning of this event, we have not made our new strategic values. So the values of the organization, we're hoping to pick 4 to 5 strong values of kind of what community living empowers and involves. So we would like to have a bunch of different stakeholders, whether it's employees, people supported, community members, sponsors, all that around. And to participate in this, it's probably going to be a virtual event, but to help create these values. So if you are looking to get involved, that's a good way to do that. And then once the values are created, that would be how we do of how are you going to live your values. So once we pick 5 strong words that embody our agency, it's going to be how are we going to now embrace that in our everyday lives. So kind of a twofold answer there, and still a little bit of a journey, but that's definitely one great way to get involved. Again, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box to the right. I don't believe I see any new ones right now.
Shelby, there's one from Joanne McKay, and she shared, how will the ongoing pandemic affect the changes that you are planning? I think it's a great question, and one that's front of mind. I know it's impacted lots of day-to-day work, Deb, that you've done. Maybe if you want to start there, then I can jump in.
Well, I think, and thank you, Joanne, and welcome back. Joanne was a longtime senior employee at Community Living, so glad you tuned in. One of the things that we started the strategic plan, frankly, before the pandemic, and to a certain extent had created the pillars. When we were able to kind of lift our heads and go, oh yeah, there is a real world out there, through the pandemic fog, we checked back at our plan and realized that it's strong. The pillars that we've created are strong, and they're the ones that we truly need to move forward. One of the quick ones is we said before the pandemic we needed to use technology. Well, frankly, like every other I would say agency, institution, organizing, we threw ourselves in the deep end when it came to technology. We've got, Joanne, we've got iPads, we've got cell phones, we've got laptops, and we're communicating virtually. So there's an example of, through the pandemic, we had no choice but to pivot, be flexible, figure it out, and have it happen. And we saw that we could do it. So I think part of the pandemic has given us the confidence to move forward. But certainly we checked back, and what we thought we needed to do for the future, the pandemic has just reinforced that.
And Joanne, I think the other key thing, and it's great to have you here this evening, is that it's important that we stay true to our values, even in the middle of challenge. And I think that's what it's done. I know for my role is to keep reflecting on the values, because this was created in collaboration with people that choose for us to support them, with their families, with our employees, with volunteers, with the board of directors. So because we all had this common vision for where we wanted to go, I think it can be really tempting right now to say that we have the pandemic happening and now we need to take a left or right turn, but we know where we need to go based on this great feedback. And it actually happened right at the beginning. I remember the day. It was like just weeks before, it was last March when this was happening. And I think it's important that we stay true to this and also keep this in our forefront as we come out of this to make sure that we stay true to who we are as Community Living Wallaceburg. I see Emmer Dudley in the chat, and I love the idea about helping people achieve their dreams. We stand in the shoulders of giants here with people who have come before us and paved the way. So it's so important that we stay true to that, the great work of Community Living Wallaceburg, and then build on that as we go forward.
Another thing that I saw in the chat from Carol is another way to get involved is through our events and fundraising. So our fundraising and events are a little bit not up in the air, but they're definitely working to get pivoted in this new world that we have. One thing that is very secure is we are still doing our golf tournament. So we'll be looking for volunteers for that. And like I said, in the bottom of the email, you just click on the link that says how to get involved, and we'll be collecting emails to reach out to people if you are interested in volunteering and other events that might be appealing to you. Again, if you have any questions involving internal, external, the strategic plan, even the pandemic, please type it in the chat to the right.
Love the excitement of Rhiann Riley. Always exciting to see everyone connected and friendly. I was going to say friendly faces, but I certainly think friendly words and names that we know so well. And then I think there's like some questions like Marcy asked around when are we allowed to go into, I think it's shops and programs again. And I think that's a great question, and that goes to how we're trying to navigate these really big challenges, Deb. How do we go through this? And how do we make sure that we still stay connected and strong and support each person, but in a safe way during this time?
Yes, and it's we're all living the restrictions, I think, of the pandemic. My grandkids in Quebec, I know how to kiss on Facebook now. It's just we've all had to learn to adapt, and we're making sure people's health and safety is the absolute most important thing. I 100% understand that our mental health is also very important, and that's part of the overall health. But keeping people safe, which is what we've been trying to do right from the very beginning, stopping the transmission, minimizing the transmission, that means staying in, that means not sort of doing what we used to the way we did. We will be able to, but as long as we stay true and stay tight for a little bit more, I think we'll be good to open up. But if we move too fast, too far, we could take a step back. And people's, like I said, physical health and safety, recognizing the mental health is just as important, is what we've worked for right from the very beginning and will continue until the end of the pandemic. It's just our people's lives, people's safety, people's happiness is what we need to make sure stays where it is. So hang in there a bit more. I know it's tough, but the doctors, the experts are telling us light at the end of the tunnel. So just hang in there a bit more, please.
A question from Rhiann, which I could probably speak on more so, is will your future events and fundraising align with these strategic priorities? It'd be awesome to see how the money raised can help achieve these goals. So some things that specifically Emily and I are looking at is, yes, the pandemic has kind of dampened in-person events and the traditional events that we love, getting into a room and eating a dinner or making box lunch and going to Three Rivers Rolled with a bunch of strangers going on the street. But the thing with that is, unfortunately, we can't do that. So we need to pivot and change. But this thing that with COVID is sometimes this could be a catalyst for change, and this could bring some really good positive changes to the agency. So we're hoping to freshen up these events, but also make them a COVID-friendly alternative. And perhaps these might be new events that people will grow and love, but will still have the traditional feel of box lunch to it. So one of the strategic priorities is technology. So we're already looking at making some events virtual. Who knows if that impact will be the same as, like I said, as riding your bike and feeling the wind in your hair, but maybe you'll be able to participate on your own with your family until we're able to gather again. So it's just more so looking at it and being innovative and creative. And like I said, using this pandemic for a catalyst for change and a positive change that maybe that will be a great change for future years and we might stick with. If not, it will make us super excited for when we are able to meet in person and have events again. Hopefully that answered your question.
Well, and I would just add on. So when a person donates to any organization, there are two things they want to see. A, that it's close to home, and B, that it has an impact. And I think with the pivot that we're making towards certain events, and Brianne, you said it loud and clear. People need to know that their money is sort of going where they want it to go and doing the things they want it to. So your message was heard, and it will continue. And, you know, to your point, the monies that are raised absolutely need to align with the things that are being purchased. The latest one I would say is for the Three Rivers Roll, we purchased a wheelchair bicycle. We're purchasing our second bike. So the Three Rivers Roll, a wheelchair bike for people to get out and ride a bike who may never have done that. That's the example I think that you're looking for, and that's the road that we're on.
I just can't agree enough with the statement around we need to align our strategic priorities with where we're doing and how we're spending our fundraising dollars and being visible on that. That is absolutely a high priority, to be visible around our goals. And I just have to say, Shelby, I just want to completely agree with Elise, because I was nervous going into this, and Deb can tell you this, because I chat with her, as I said, how are we going to get a better item than people participating proudly? I was nervous here, but I agree with you. Dream, believe, overcome, and achieve was super, really is inspiring to me as well. And we are certainly thrilled to bring that. It's not that we aren't people participating proudly, but we want to dream, believe, overcome, and achieve.
I'm not sure if we've got Shelby. Oh, I don't see my chat box. Banner, do you see any more?
I'm just kind of looking through here. Janine's given some positive things, especially about our staff and, you know, my fellow directors. So we appreciate that. Derek is talking about if there's going to be wind in his hair. And Dr. Dudley is certainly, engaging in that chat. Joanne is talking about it was time for the change. Love the 4 words that have been created. And I still do love the other one. That's absolutely true. I'm with you on that, Joanne. I still do love the other one as well. Excited where this takes us. And I really do encourage, because there's so much depth in the strategic plan, is that each one of the petals around our vision, if you go into the document, you'll see a nice little kind of picture that's like a flower with our different items on there. It's really the subcategories underneath, those descriptors, Deb, that really bring it to life.
And I do believe, and we'll see when Shelby comes back, that I think the video that the very first one that we maybe didn't hear the full sound, and certainly the second one, I think all of this will be on our website with the full plan. So people will be able to answer the question, see the questions, see the videos, and read the plan from top to bottom. And this, I'd like to introduce Emily, our other communications person. So Emily, I'll hand it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Shelby's frozen, unfortunately. But yes, everything will be available on our website. So the new strategic plan, you can watch the videos again if you would like. And you can really sort of dig deep into our website to learn about, our missions, our board of directors, learn more about Ben, Kevin, everyone who's been a part of, making this new vision and purpose and strategic priorities come to life. So we're really excited for this new chapter. And if there's no more questions.
There's one more question, Emily. Is? So it's Margaret. So she asked, what will be different in our roles as staff with the new strategic plan?
Well, jeepers, Margaret, that's the evening. I don't know that your role is going to be different. I think what's going to be different is the dream, believe, overcome, and achieve. Like there are no limits. We ask our kids, what do you want? What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? I think it'll be more in the questions that we work, that we ask the people we support, like open-ended questions. What would you like? What can I do? I think continue on doing the fantastic job that I know you do, Margaret.
Yes.
And just with the work that the pillars that we've given you, like, the boost of technology, making sure that it's person-centered. And I think the other one maybe would be the co-design. If people who are using our services are the ones who know best what works and what doesn't. So as we develop new ideas, new things, I think it will be bringing the people we support closer to the action at the very beginning. So we work together to create something that they know works. So continue doing the work you're doing. I think we'll try and make it a bit richer. But Community Living is blessed with wonderful employees, and I would say just keep on going. We're just going to empower people to dream, believe, overcome, and achieve. It's just more of a boost, I'd say, we're going to be giving people.
And I think it's exciting that, Margaret, what I'm excited about is the fact that by having this out in the front, and we want to keep this in front, I want to keep this in front of my work as I support the agency, is to make sure that we're all on the same page, to make sure that we're so connected and aligned. And I don't think it's about what we do different. It's about how every day we make sure we're aligned with our vision. We make sure we're aligned with what we value, make sure it aligns with what we want to do. And we're seeing in the chat, there's just another thing about supports helping to do more activities. We want to do things that are aligned, and that we're all making sure that the voices of folks who choose for us to be to provide supports, make sure that we're all doing those key things together. And I know we keep saying it, but we love it. Dream, believe, overcome, and achieve. And if we do that, as well as those strategic priorities, we're going to be aligned, right from my work in the president, from the board's work, from Deb, from your work with her senior team, to staff work, to volunteers, to all the great fundraising and community events that will happen with Emily and Shelby.
Absolutely. All right. If that's all of our questions for the evening, I absolutely encourage people to look at the email that goes out after the event so you can get involved and help us establish our new values as an organization, and look out for those volunteer opportunities for our fundraising events, because we do have some exciting initiatives coming up where we can have people involved, whether it's virtually or not. So I thank you all for coming tonight and being a part of this. It's been an absolute pleasure working on this with this wonderful team with Shelby, Ben, and Deb to make this come together, as well as the people who were involved in our video making. It's been, wonderful, and I'm so excited for the next couple of years. Ben and Deb, if you want to share a couple of remarks before we close out, that would be awesome.
Well, Mr. President, you better go first. No, I'll go first, and you have the last word. Most important has the last word.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to all of the people who worked with us to help create the plan. Thanks to the people and families who chose Community Living Wallaceburg, to our employees, and we are aligned. We are going to work together, and the next 4 years are going to be exciting. And I think we are going to move into the future with confidence, and we are dreaming, believing, overcoming, and we're going to achieve. Mr. President.
I echo the sentiments. I also echo the sentiments of the chat, which is they're looking for a T-shirt with dream, believe, overcome, and achieve to be created. So Shelby and Emily, we need a T-shirt. We need it quick.
We're on it.
I do want to say, from our staff to our volunteers to our donors, Thank you for your support. To our families, we take the responsibility seriously that you've entrusted with us. And to the people who have chosen us to provide supports. This is what this whole process is about. Community Living Wallaceburg does not exist without the people choosing us to support them. You're the only reason we're here. And the only reason that we are here is to help you achieve your dream. We actually talked about what those dreams are. We shared those stories as we came up with this. The only reason that we are here is so that you can believe in what can be possible for you and that we can support you. And the only reason that we are here is so that you can overcome the challenges. You inspire us every day, and we know that you will achieve great things. The people who we support are the focus and are the center of what we do. And I want to say thank you for the responsibility that you've entrusted to us. As president of the board of directors of Community Living, I take this to heart. I take this extremely seriously, and I am committed to supporting in my way how that can be. And I will say that we will all work in alignment to make sure that the people who choose for us to support them will dream, believe, overcome, and achieve. I really appreciate everyone this evening. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm glad you hopped in on this new platform, and we hope you'll spend some time with our document, reading it, and we can't wait to see you at our events and continue our relationships and community participation.